Hi, it's Azimah from My English Matters. Today I thought I'd read out loud a story I wrote a few years back called My First Day at School in Manchester. You can find the story on the website if you want, so you can read along with me. This story captures my shyness as a little girl who had to adapt quickly to the English speaking environment. Perhaps you can relate and share with us your experience of being out of your comfort zone after listening to the story. At the age of 8, my family and I moved to the United Kingdom. This was the start of our 8-year journey in an English speaking land. My father was pursuing his higher education, while the rest of us 5 siblings, all girls, and mother, homemaker, began to carve our life in the multicultural city of Manchester. We settled in a small, fully furnished red brick terrace house. The house kept us happy and warm, even in freezing temperatures. Over the years, Mama cheered the house up with her fabulous cooking and baking. We also welcomed 2 more siblings and 2 white British cats into our home. Papa enrolled us in a nearby school. St. Mark's was an ominous looking building, shaped almost like a cathedral. The narrow, dark stairways reminded me of dungeons, while the large classrooms were the exact opposite. They were brightly lit and decorated with the pupils' hand drawn artwork and murals. Unlike primary schools in Malaysia, we didn't have a school uniform, so I wore simple sweaters, or jumpers as they call them, and jeans underneath my maroon coat every day. On my first day of class, it struck me how mature my 8-year-old peers were. It was a multi ethnic class. My classmates were mostly Pakistanis, and so was my teacher. They'd speak to our teacher as if they were friends. In confident, loud, Manchester accented voices, they'd say, "How are you, sir? Morning! You all right, sir?" There I was, seated at the girls' table, tiny and shy. Everybody was big boned and a head taller than me. I could barely speak a word of English. I mean, I had watched English cartoons and had English speaking neighbors back in Malaysia, but I rarely used English at home. Luckily, my classmates were very friendly. They thought I was a polite, shy little Malay girl. The girls asked me how to say their names in Malay. A boy came to my table and asked me if I lived in a house on top of a tree in a rainforest. "Don't be daft," the girl at my table snapped at him, dismissing the boy's curiosity. Then she turned to me and said, "So, how do you say my name in your language?" Let me remind you, we were 8. My teacher, the kind Mr. Fazil, gave me exercise books and a pen to gauge my level of English and maths. I did the exercises in silence while the girls chatted away. On a section on identifying colors, my heart sank when I realized I didn't have a brown color pencil. I had to interrupt the girls' lively chatter to speak in English. I pointed at a small tub of color pencils in the middle of the table and said, "Excuse me, can you give me mm, that color?" I didn't know the exact word to describe the color, so I blurted out the best and most accurate term in Malay. Chocolate. "Chocolate?" the girl with thick braids asked, looking blank. "Do you mean brown?" She turned to the other girls. "Oh, Azimah said chocolate! That's so cute! Here you go, mate." My ears and cheeks burned in shame, but because the classroom was cold, nobody really noticed. They resumed their cheerful chatter and continued doing their work. Those were the first English words I spoke, and although my classmates found it amusing, to me, this experience marked the beginning of my deep desire to learn English. And thus began my labor of love to learn, read, write, and communicate in English. The end. So, there you go. I hope you found this story enjoyable and you could relate to my struggle. Do you have an embarrassing story to share? Tell us all about it. Until next time, bye.